Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back, okay? It's the late night special. Thank you for having your notifications turned on. I don't know if y'all realize, but I am quite late to this review, but I definitely wanted to come on and have the discussion with y'all when I had a second. Life got beside me, work got beside me. It was crazy as ever, but I definitely didn't want to miss the topic, and I didn't want to wait till next week to come on and talk to y'all. So, like I said, everything has been hectic. So, we're not doing video today. Just let me know if you can hear me okay. And I mean, you're not going to be able to see me. Hey, babe. Hey, Romel. How you doing? And then Darcy J. Hey. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get into it. What I think I'm going to do is re-premiere this for the people that watch it on replay in the morning, because I know y'all like to watch the videos when y'all are at work. So yeah, I'm gonna re-premiere it. But for now, this is gang, okay? So Real Housewives of Potomac Part 2. This picks up from a continuation of what we saw last week, which was Giselle and Candace, okay? At this point, Andy says that it's basically just semantics. Y'all, Andy has had enough of us lighting his ass up every single reunion saying that he's not holding Giselle's feet to the fire. So I think that's why he wanted to make it clear that Giselle was on some bullshit. Clearly, okay, I had to say it loud and clear. He wanted to make it clear that Giselle was on some BS when it came to this accusation that she had with Chris. Nice to see you have an opinion, Andy. I love it, okay? Keep it up. Not only that, we go into talking about Giselle, which I'll get to in a second, and he kind of held her accountable there and made her be vulnerable for like 0.25 seconds. But before we get into that, y'all, we talk about Deborah. We talk about damn Sesame Street, y'all. Do I still have that picture uploaded? We talking about damn Sesame Street, y'all. Deborah. And Andy runs back the clips and he wants to show Ashley that your friend Deborah was not being truthful when it came to Chris allegedly flirting with her. Like we all seen during the regular season, we know that Deborah went out of her way to have conversations with Chris. Oh, Chris, I like that suit. Oh, Chris, that's a nice suit. And Chris kind of just paid her dust. And based on what the editing showed, Chris wasn't trying to talk to this lady. And I guarantee you, these people are in the business of making money, okay? If they had footage on Chris talking to this woman in any type of inappropriate manner, it would have been shown. So I'm just like, girl, bye. Ashley and her forehead, who know her lying ass Sesame Street Cookie Monster ass looking, you know, don't look under the bed friend is lying, okay? She knew her friend was lying. And she says, she was just shocked by the footage that she saw because Deborah is usually truthful. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Nicole, I'm with you. Chris definitely wanted that funny lady to stop talking to him. I agree, okay? So we move on from that to we talk about Candace and this Instagram live situation that happened whenever the girls were in Miami. Y'all know Robin pulled out her damn Bose Bluetooth speaker, sat it down on the table just to play the video of Candace talking about the ladies. Now, if you've been watching my reviews episode by episode, then you know that I was already, Inspector Gadget, Columbo on the case. I already knew what was going on. I told y'all that Robin was feeling away, that Candace did not jump in on the, we hate. Who was it that they were beefing with? I really think it was Wendy. It was somebody, and I think Robin felt a way that Candace did not just jump on their coattail and basically decide that Wendy was the one in the wrong, right? So I already knew that's where that was coming from because Robin knew damn well that video had nothing to do with her. Hey, Naturally Mar. Um, okay, thank you, Nicole. It was Wendy, exactly. It was Wendy who they were trying to, jade Candace's opinion on. Candace wasn't going for it. Robin felt some type of way. So come to find out, just like I said, Robin admits at the reunion that she was just in her feelings on how Candace was, quote unquote, treating her. Robin, get the fuck right now. Have several seats. Candace was not treating you any type of way. Candace called out your bullshit. Um, might I say your colorism? Okay, your colorism activities and the way y'all behave towards Wendy, and you didn't like it. Anybody who calls you out on your shit is making you feel uncomfortable. Y'all, I cannot wait to jump into this colorism topic and get into that, right? So anyway, it's pretty much up Robin. But on another note, have y'all heard about Juan Dixon at the laundromat? Have y'all heard about Juan Dixon at the laundromat with the woman who is not even the Canadian lady and damn sure ain't no Robin Dixon? So the internet sleuths have said that this woman at the laundromat is the director of athletics at the university that he coaches at. They tried to make it seem like, they were just there washing uniforms. I don't think there were any uniforms photographed. Another thing is, like, was the team on the road traveling? I mean, most athletic departments that I know of have their own washing machines on campus. Um, People were saying he had his arms wrapped around the woman. And then all of a sudden, when they got ready to take the picture, they were just standing like they were platonic. On some evil genius type stuff, y'all. Do you think it's possible that Juan Dixon was out and about with this lady intentionally so Robin could get another opportunity to come on the show and speak to a misunderstanding? That's what I'm wondering. Honestly, y'all, I told y'all I don't think that Robin is fired. I don't think she's fired. I don't even know if they've gotten contracts sent back out yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if Robin created an opportunity for herself to be more vulnerable again, because we know damn well that wasn't gonna be the only time that Juan, you know, I almost want to say cheated, but she act like he didn't cheat, you know. Maybe the woman at the laundromat just, didn't have quarters. So he hiked over there to get a lady some quarters to wash her laundry. And not only that, maybe she didn't know how to start the machine. So he grabbed her waist and said, hey, put these 2 quarters in, put it on quick wash. Like, ain't no telling y'all. I would not be surprised if she created another opportunity for herself. But let's move on, okay, until we find out more about Robin. Next, we get into this scene with Giselle, and Giselle begins to muster up some tears. Because this hysterectomy surgery apparently was very serious. It was supposed to be a 3-hour surgery. It ended up being an 8.5-hour surgery, and she was about to cry because her girls didn't know what was wrong. And she all out says to Andy in the midst of her choking up from her tears, "We'll talk about it later." Girl, if you don't get the fuck off my phone right now. If you don't get the fuck off my TV right now, Giselle, you are about to cry sharing the story, okay? Your dwindling uterus has been waiting on you to speak on it all season long. And the moment that you get to speak on it, you're ready to cry. And you're ready to tell Andy that we can move on. It don't work like that, Giselle. Like, damn, I would love to learn. Who am I kidding, y'all? I don't give a damn about learning more about Giselle, but what I will say is I would like to see, if Giselle is going to be a part of this cast, I would like to see a new method to the madness. I would like to see a different way to bake the cake, because what I am telling y'all is if Potomac gets into this regular ass rhythm of baking the cake the same way every single time, like what the girls did on Atlanta for seasons and seasons and seasons and seasons, the shit is gonna go stale. The shit's gonna go stale. So I want a different way to bake the cake, Giselle. Come to us differently next season. I mean, yes, keep the mess going on, but spill some of your own tea. So Andy ends up saying, the point of you being on the show is being vulnerable, right? So why don't you share more of this? And he also ends up asking her about this young boy who she's dating named Jason, who's on another Bravo show, and asks her if y'all are still dating next season, will we get to see him? She says, sure. Giselle's not gonna be dating that man. Y'all, when I look at pictures of Giselle, hey Nikki, when I look at pictures of Giselle and this man, y'all, it's something about this man that feels like, how do I explain this? Y'all know a man who you can tell he thinks he's fine. That's Jason to me. I think Jason from Winter House is a man who thinks he's fine, thinks he looks good. Y'all know the ones with the low eyes, the stereotypical quote unquote light skin pose. You know what I mean? Um, that's what Jason gives to me. And I think that Jason wants the clout that comes with Giselle. Now, if Jason is, laying down the pipe and Giselle will come back next season without having something stuck up her booty, I love it. Okay. If you were going to get this woman in a state of bliss instead of a state of bitterness, I'm here for it. Okay. But truth be told, I don't think this man really wants Giselle. But I think if you can do what needs to be done, keep it up, Jason. So next, y'all, we start talking about Wendy. We talk about Wendy's health for a hot second. Wendy and Mia start arguing. Wendy says that it took everything in her not to beat Mia's ass, and she was crying. She says, "You assaulted me," is what she says to Mia. And Mia says, "Oh, but you slept with Peter. You slept with Peter because you wanted a restaurant." Y'all, ever since then, Peter Thomas has come to the front and he has said that that is not true and that's a disgusting ass rumor and that he don't even really know them people like that. And when he said he don't really know them people like that, he talking about Mia and G. He don't really know them people like that to be claiming him and for Mia to be speaking on who Wendy is sleeping with, this married ass woman. Get the fuck off my phone. I'm sorry. So Peter Thomas disputed that. G popped back on Instagram this week talking about, oh, so I guess when you needed 60 grand to pay your bills for your restaurant, you didn't know us like that. When you held my daughter for the first time outside of me, I guess you didn't know us like that. Y'all need to go watch the video, but it looked like G was reading off of a damn teleprompter. Anyway, I knew Mia was lying about Wendy busting her legs open for a restaurant because, like Wendy said, I don't fuck for lobsters. You do. Okay? You do. Okay, yes, Naturally Mar. Hey, Monique. But yeah, Peter has been going back and forth with them all day long. Because the thing is this, like, Peter want to be on the show. Patricia want to be on the show. Okay, Patricia wants the clout. Come to his restaurant. That's what he's using the show for, right? But Peter don't want to be in no shit. Don't insinuate that this married woman is sleeping with him. That's weird. Real weird. Um. So anyway, next we start talking about Robin. Robin says, we start talking about Robin's reaction to the fight between, well, let me not even call it a fight because that's not even fair. Let's just call it the assault because that's exactly what it was. Mia assaulted Wendy by throwing her purse and drink at her. And this is the perfect segue to get into the colorism conversation. So Robin says she herself doesn't know how she would react to somebody throwing a drink, but she knows that she just didn't want to see Wendy fight. So now you're trying to make it seem like you had Wendy's best interest at heart, even though you were telling her to fight or shut up. Get the ooh, y'all. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. It almost appeared to me as though Robin expected Wendy to not defend herself because in Robin's mind, if Wendy defended herself, she then will become the aggressor. Even when Wendy was just speaking, in Robin's mind, Wendy was the antagonist because Wendy was speaking. Y'all, that's colorism. That's colorism. Especially when they do not keep that same energy. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is what they wanted. Ooh, shit. I'm low-key getting frustrated already. They wanted last Sunday's episode to be the nail in the coffin on the colorism topic. And honestly, for me, y'all, I think it will be the nail on the coffin. Just based on the way that the conversation was handled. Based on the way that the conversation is handled, I don't even feel like speaking on that shit no more. But what I am gonna do is speak on it tonight, and after that, I'm gonna try my best not to speak on colorism on this show. So anyway, let's move on. Karen, she really didn't contribute too much to this reading, honestly. She was just chilling. Um, so another example that they bring up is Robin saying that she didn't need Charisse to hold her back when it came to her arguing with Wendy, when clearly she did. Y'all want to know the one example that I wish that they had added here? The one example that I wish they added here, as they, bulked up to this conversation on colorism, was the argument that the ladies got into at the winery, and Robin said something about being a thug. Why were you using that language when speaking to Wendy? I know she didn't call Wendy a thug, but the thing is this: why use that language? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So next, they start talking about Ashley changing her stance on violence because clearly, if you've been a fan of the show for a minute, she supported Monique when Monique assaulted Candace in season 5. And listen, this is the thing. We all know damn well Ashley changed her stance because her bills was on the line. We know damn well that allegedly Monique and Chris had video footage of Michael Darby touching the butt or assaulting one of the people in production for Bravo. I mean, it was talked about on the show, and then all of a sudden it just went away. Like we were supposed to act like the shit didn't happen, right? So we know that that's why Ashley supported Monique. But at the end of the day, I don't think that Ashley would have supported Monique if Monique didn't have that on her, allegedly. Okay. So Ashley says that nobody said anything to Mia, but they then chastised Monique, which I have to agree 100%. They had conversations with Monique. They said she was the worst representation of a Black woman, and they worked so hard. And Monique was the reason why the show is gonna look bad. And Candace was sitting there agreeing with all of it. See, this is the thing, Candace. This is the thing. And I ain't gonna get into it. Candace, I understand you being upset that Monique assaulted you, right? But I got a bone to pick with both Candace and Monique. Monique, I will say this for the last time. You weak as fuck for picking your fight with Candace and not with the Green Eyed Bandits, who you know set up the rumor to come on the show, which was the whole reason why you was sitting there fighting, right? Candace, girl, you weak as fuck for allowing the Green Eyed Bandits to simply use you as a pawn that season. The whole strategy that season was to make Monique look bad, and you just ended up being plan B. Okay? So, all of this smoke for Monique low-key kind of irritates me because I wish that you would have had the smoke for the Green Eyed Bandits earlier instead of trying to be gang, trying to think that they were good people, trying to think that they actually cared about you when clearly they don't give a fuck about you, Candace. And I'm glad that you are seeing the light. I'm glad you are. So, Giselle, how was what Monique did different, okay, than what Mia did? And Giselle says, well, it's just throwing a drink. It wasn't a big deal to me. Throwing a drink, I mean, I don't like her. So that's why. And y'all think that that's a justified reason to not have a moral compass because you don't like someone, you think that they should get assaulted? Get the fuck. Y'all, I'm sorry. We are not about to just put this off on I don't like Wendy. That's hold on. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, that's not what that's about, Giselle. It's not about you not liking Wendy. Okay. One of the other situations that I wish they would have brought up, not only did we talk about Robin calling Wendy a thug, or I don't even know if she called her a thug, but anyway, she used the language thug when they were at the winery. That's one example. Another example, and the first time I started to peep this shit really happening in broad daylight was when they were on that yacht. They were on a yacht, I think it was last season or maybe the season before. And Giselle said to Wendy, "Why are you being so aggressive?" And there was no aggression even happening in that moment. That was a fucking dog whistle. You wanted Wendy to look like the antagonist. So, y'all, this colorism conversation did not do shit. So, whatever. Let's just get into this, okay? So, basically, y'all, the way I feel about it is this. All of these ladies on the Real Housewives of Potomac cast are tired of us calling them colorist for calling out their colorism type of ways, okay? And I want y'all to hear me out. I let me try to break this down. These women, and not all of them, y'all know who I'm speaking about, Robin, Giselle. I'm speaking of Robin and Giselle. Let me just break it down. Let's go down the line. Mia. I don't think that Mia has any type of colorism ways. I think Mia is E for everybody, L for lie to everybody, and yeah, that's how I feel about Mia. I don't think she's colorist. Robin, colorist as fuck. I'm sorry. I don't think that Robin realizes that it's ingrained in the way that she treats people, especially behind Giselle's old rolled neck, thick ankle ass. She does not realize it, y'all. Y'all know how when you be in a corporate 9 to 5 and they make y'all take them damn unconscious bias trainings, that's what's going on. I think that similar to white people believe that they cannot be racist unless they're saying racist things out loud. They don't think that your unconscious decisions are what make you racist. Okay, that's just an example. So let's put it on the flip side. These women do not believe that they can be colorist because they're not saying that they hate dark-skinned women. But they are blowing dog whistles and saying things to make it look stereotypically like this dark-skinned woman is rough and aggressive and strong and this, and they're ever so fragile. Right? So I don't think that that was talked about enough. Next, Candace. Candace can see the colorism. Will Candace admit it? No. I think that Candace sees the colorism. I don't think that she will label them as colorists because she sees them as friends. And I mean, I get that, right? Maybe you don't think that they're colorists because they don't all outright say that they don't fuck with you, right? But I think that Candace wanted to spark some change in this conversation, but she was low key too scared to talk about it and didn't want to rock the boat too much, like what we've been seeing her do with the Green Eye Bandits for seasons and seasons and seasons, even though they show you that they don't give a damn about you. Karen. Karen knows exactly, well, Karen knows exactly what the fuck is up. She does. I think whenever Karen spoke about her family, owning the plantation and knowing about the roots that were ingrained in us all the way back to slavery, I think she knew and knows what goes on in this cast. But as far as her speaking on it, she found a gracious Miss America, Miss Universe way to talk about the history of it. So did Candace, rather than necessarily talking about the actions that have been made by these women, Giselle and Robin, on the show. And I wish that more people will hold them accountable. People want to skate. They all know that this is a hot topic for social media. They are low key trying to protect each other because they're afraid of the colorist label. They're afraid of what happened on Basketball Wives. They know that there are colorist activities going on the show, but they don't want to label each other as colorist. So it's a catch 22. And the reason why I feel like I won't speak on this shit anymore is because they don't want to speak on the shit. And if you want to allow the colorist behavior to continue to happen, fuck it. Get your check. I'ma watch the show. Now Giselle, she is the ringleader. Giselle is the absolute ringleader. I think that, yeah. Let me see. Are we really expecting a deep dive on this topic from the cast? I think that if you were going to have a conversation about it, you should have went all the way in. Merriam-Webster, cool, but if y'all would have dug into it some more, we really could have got something out of it. None of the conversation they had was really applied to the shit that has happened on this show. Like, we didn't talk enough about the actions that were made on this show that exhibited colorist behavior. Like, honestly, y'all, to me, what it felt like was y'all fans keep talking on social media about colorism. Fuck it. Let's talk about it. Let's put it to bed and let's not bring this shit up no more. We said that we not colorists. None of us agreed that none of the ladies are colorists. So y'all should stop saying it. And that's exactly what it felt like to me. And for that reason, I was like, why are we even talking about it? And Giselle is the the ringleader. Ashley, I don't think that Ashley is colorist at all. I don't think Ashley even has colorist, behaviors. I think Ashley is E for everybody and messy as fuck. I do think Ashley is E for everybody. So when I think Ashley is also aware of the colorist, biases that Giselle and Robin have. But because she is lighter skinned and aligns herself with some of the messy shit that the Green Eyed Bandits do, I think that she also feels the need to protect them because she feels like if we say that the women on this show are colorists, that means that she's clearly colorist because she's light skinned. So I think that she's defensive. And it's like, you can't have these conversations when people are just in defense mode and don't want to be deemed colorist because you, at the end of the day, really don't want to take any accountability for your biases that you don't really present to the public or biases that you don't even acknowledge, right? So, now y'all, oh, okay. Shanika says Ashley is a colorist. Orange Moon says, so Ashley is an enabler. Yeah, I think they're all enablers. I think everybody on this show is an enabler, including Wendy and Candace. I'm not saying that they're not exempt of, allowing shit to go on the show. I think that when they get tired of the colorism, they try to clap back with something cute, but they don't want to label it because they're all trying to protect the group at the end of the day. They want us to stop talking about it. So let's get into this. Candace says that she doesn't think that they're colors, but she still wanted to have the conversation. Now, the example that Candace used for me was not a good example. Candace said to everyone that she's known as like the crybaby of the group, someone who can be loud, sometimes aggressive, and Robin has exhibited all of those behaviors, but Robin hasn't been, labeled the same way. For me, Candace, That was a lightweight ass example. It's so many other things y'all could have brought up. So many other things y'all could have brought up. And I honestly don't feel like all that energy really happened until Wendy got on the show. You could have brought up how they called her aggressive. You could have brought up how, you know, Robin used the word thug. You could have brought up how Monique was, Giselle felt the need to have security after Monique assaulted Candace. But we've seen Robin walk into people's restaurants and point fingers in people's faces. We've seen Robin walk up on Monique with the umbrella. Like, what? And you have never, ever felt the need to have security before that? That's colorism, y'all. And it's so many much better, like so many better examples that could have been brought up, but everybody on this stage had this conversation in fear that they would be labeled the colors for one, and two, so we would dead the conversation. Giselle looked like somebody sucked all the oxygen out of her motherfucking neck. Giselle was a deer stuck in damn headlights when this colorism conversation happened. And what I want y'all to pay attention to is the defensiveness. When they discussed this, nobody specifically said, Giselle, you do this, or Robin, you do this. The conversation was had very high level, very broad, and they did not put a name to people who were exhibiting the colorist behaviors. However, pay attention to the people who were the most defensive. Robin, Giselle, Ashley. I already explained to y'all why Ashley was defensive. I think Ashley was defensive because she's in fear that if Giselle and Robin go down for being colorist, she goes down for being a colorist as well. However, I don't think Ashley is a colorist. I think Ashley is messy as fuck, and I think that she co-signs the mess that they get in on. Giselle is colorist as fuck. That's why she was nervous having this conversation. Robin, the same. Giselle and Robin, during that entire topic, did not contribute anything other than defensive excuses. They tried to make it seem like, oh, well, it's just because I don't like her. Or, oh, it's just because you do this and it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Oh, well, what does the color of your skin have to do with this? Literally, they were on the stage saying, you know, we all bleed the same. They were on the stage saying, all lives matter, it doesn't matter. They were on the stage saying, I don't see color. And it was weak as fuck. Now, on the next conversation, the next thing that I want to talk about as far as this colorist conversation is Wendy didn't say much either. At the end of the conversation, she says, let's just be mindful of dog whistles. Wendy, there's so much to unpack there. So much to unpack there because they have come to you with tons of dog whistles ever since you've been on the show. And for y'all to even have that conversation but not talk about shit is irritating as hell. And I think that it's a disservice to the people who actually defend y'all watching this show. And I told y'all, I uploaded a short a couple months ago. I am not coming to the defense of Candace and Wendy when it comes to this colorist behavior, because y'all know good and fucking well that Robin and Giselle are colorists, and y'all will still come on the show and say that Robin is the most loyal person to you, or Robin is the person who you look up to the most, or Wendy, you'll come to Robin and say, I miss our friendship. I'm so sorry, for the name of keeping your damn check. And y'all, it just honestly was so disappointing seeing this conversation because everybody was uncomfortable. Everybody was defensive on different levels, even Candace and Wendy, because they didn't want to label anyone as colorist. They're defensive of the cast, defensive of the group, and defensive of their check. So it's not my job to, call out the shit on the show. I'm not HR. Girl, if you like it, I love it. Now, the second layer of this conversation I wanted to have was Andy Cohen hosting the conversation. Some people felt away because he was a white man on the show. He opened up the room for the conversation, remained on the stage. He said that they did consider bringing somebody black on the show to, facilitate the conversation. I think Andy did right by staying there during the conversation. Who else was supposed to host it? To me, I felt like if he would have got up and left, it would have been like he was saying, this is a black conversation. This ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? When the thing is, it's got a whole lot to do with you because you have a whole lot to do with the show. And I think that you need to sit there and listen to the ladies and listen to what they're talking about. The only downer was they didn't have shit to talk about because they're all trying to protect each other. So I just think that I can't. I didn't have an issue with Andy being there. I really did not. I really did not have an issue with Andy being there. Andy gave them the floor. If they was gonna talk about it, it was gonna be talked about. But they didn't want to talk about it. So I don't think that the temperature of the room changed one way or another with Andy being there. I don't. The only difference is if there would have been a moderator to actually call out the shit that happened and the shit that we witnessed that we know is colorist, I think we all would have been more disappointed because this is the thing. If you would have had somebody who was vocal, like even whenever Nicki Minaj hosted the reunion and she was calling out stuff from a viewer point of view, if somebody would have came on that stage and said, "Oh, well, do you remember when you called Wendy aggressive?" The whole group would have been in defense of Giselle. I promise you. Even Wendy. I think she would have because that's what it was giving. That's what it was giving. Y'all lightweight wanted to protect them or protect your check. So that's how I feel about it. We'll move on from that. And lastly, Jacqueline ends up coming out to the stage, y'all. I agree, SJ. I think Amanda Seals would have been perfect. I agree. Um, so Jacqueline comes out and she says that she felt like Mia just drug her underneath her the whole time she was on the show, and that Mia wanted her to be her peasant. And I'm glad that Jacqueline got to see that because that's exactly what Mia was trying to write you off as. Mia was trying to make it seem like you wanted her hand-me-downs. You didn't really have shit. You was leeching off of her. And I'm so glad that Jacqueline was able to see that. So Mia says, well, no, I just felt overwhelmed with all the help that Jacqueline needed. Um, and Mia, be fucking for real. That's not what it was about. It wasn't about you feeling overwhelmed. It was the fact that you wanted to shit on your friend on TV because you didn't like that the other women were welcoming her with opening arms. You didn't like that. You wanted to be the friend that was on Housewives, and you didn't want Jacqueline to be well received. I think that she was open to Jacqueline being on Housewives initially, and then once she started seeing Jacqueline forge her own relationships with the group, getting a little bit of attention, you didn't like it. And that's typical coming from somebody who ain't never had shit. Not me, Mia. But I'm saying that's typical. If Mia felt like she ain't never had shit in life, and finally she gets to, be on this prestigious show with these rich, beautiful women, she wants something to be hers. She ain't never really had shit that's only hers. So for you to come on the show, she gonna shit on you because she wants to let it be known that she's better than you. And I think that that's what that was all about. So Jacqueline says that her family is pretty much disgusted with Mia because of the things that she was saying on the show, and Mia looks embarrassed because she knows that she was doing the most. So Jacqueline ends up talking about, this group text that Mia sent out to everyone talking about her. Saying Mia didn't have no money and something about Mia sleeping with men, just something ridiculous, y'all. And Jacqueline was like, okay, well, that's why your family business is in shambles. And I have receipts. So they cut it off right there. And that was pretty much it for Potomac Part 2. The big topic was really this colorism discussion, but it was a letdown for me on all parties. Okay? All parties, it was a letdown, and y'all should have just kept that shit in your back pocket. But one thing y'all ain't got to worry about is y'all ain't got to worry about me. Because if you like it, I love it, and I'm not gonna come on here every single week caping for your brown skin ass. I'm not going to against the green eye bandits. I won't do it. Okay, the shit is tiring. And sometimes when it just sucks to feel like you're taking up on somebody else's cause. I have explained to y'all for so long. Wendy and Candace do not realize the power that they have. The only thing that Robin and Giselle has over them is stripes earned. They've been on the show for longer. Call these bitches out. Call them out for what they are doing. I'm so tired of women getting on the show and they see longevity in bowing down. And I think that that's what Candace and Wendy, goes back and forth between. They go back and forth between bowing down, throwing a little shade, but not really getting too much out of line. And that's all operating in, the name of fear. And it's really annoying and it's exhausting. I hate to see it, y'all. But yeah, better late than never, y'all. I'm glad we had this conversation on the colorism topic. Again, I'm gonna premiere this in the morning for the people who missed it since I am coming late. They can watch it on replay. Let me read some of y'all comments before I get out of here because y'all. Let me see. Pacino says, I don't blame you. They are lukewarm. Absolutely. Shanika says, no, don't put that on the brown girls. The green eye bandits have a responsibility too. They absolutely do. But the thing is, we always speak about the green eye bandits. And when we have the opportunity to hold these ladies accountable, they're never held accountable. They're met with hugs and kisses and I miss you and you my big sister. So shit, if you like it, I love it. Okay. Shout out to California Cutie. Y'all do me a favor and like the video, right? Queen Paradise says, correct. It's all given protect my check. I'm willing to shuck and tell lies. Tell lies. It all shows up. Yup. Darnett says they needed someone that experienced a dark-skinned woman problem. Alf says Amanda Seals would have rocked that perfectly. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, she would have. She definitely would have. This is a good point right here. Alf says that having Andy present may have held them back. Who knows? Because it is kind of like telling on people in front of your boss. But I think he should have been there. Darnett agrees. Deshaun says Candace didn't care about the colorism when it came to the immediate hate for Monique. Okay, this is it for me. This is it for me. The colorism is loud and clear. But anytime they speak bad on Monique, she be ready to speak bad on Monique. And I'm kind of just like, girl, don't you know they're using you? They're literally using you. I hate to see it. Huh. Defensive because they're guilty. This is in response to Giselle and Robin. But yeah, let me see. We can't do no more Wendy and Candy Girl on this topic. I mean, they are the ones on the show, not us. Facts. Facts. SJ, we can't care more than they do. Facts. And that's exactly where I'm at. This the comment for me. Especially Wendy showing her cookie like that lady didn't assault her. Can we tap into this, Wendy? That was one thing they didn't talk about, right? Is colorism going on the show? But to Giselle's point, didn't you show the lady your vagina? Didn't y'all allegedly hook up? So what is going on? If you like it, I love it, girl. I I don't understand. But yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all that I have for y'all tonight. Share the video with your friends. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.